Okay, this is 140-160. We're starting with some short voice material. So this attorney is the plaintiff, and he is Ms. Israels. That's plaintiff. This is defense, who is Mr. Lundberg. Just use plaintiff and defense. Plaintiff, defense, court, witness. Okay. Now remember, when the witness speaks to someone other than the attorney who is questioning him, you're going to want to identify the witness in colloquy, which I suggest you do by using your initial W with your answer bar. Okay. And that occurs anytime the witness is responding to anyone other than the examining attorney. In this transcript, we're starting off with Lundberg questioning. Okay, so defense counsel is questioning, and I'm going to give you a little extra time to make sure you hit your identifiers in between that, and I'll speed up a little bit when it's just Q&A. Okay? So, here we go. Starting with the question. What's the distance between number 16 and number 2? Would you be able to estimate feet? About 30, 40 feet maybe. How long after you saw this person, after you returned back, how long after that did the police arrive? Objection. No objection. 5 or 10 minutes. Did you tell the police that he had something in his hand? No. I'm sorry. Was that yes? No. Where can you describe what you saw in his hand? I couldn't see. I could just see him doing something like this. Okay, I want to make sure that we're hitting this correctly before we go farther. So, in that instance, where this attorney came in and said objection, no objection, witness said 5 or 10 minutes. That's W answer bar, okay?
And then attorney, and then question.
Perfect. So you get your identifier, then the cue for question. Okay, same thing down below. Court said, I'm sorry, was that yes? Witness, no. Lundberg question, or plaintiff question, or defense question.
Oh wait,
it's backwards to me, so I have to really think about it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to pick up the question by defense. Where can you describe what you saw in his hand? I couldn't see. I could just see him doing something like this. So you don't know what it was? Probably right hand. Do you know whether it was his right hand or left hand? I would say right. When the police arrived, did you go outside your apartment? Not right away, no. When did you go outside? After I seen them chasing him down to the other side of the complex there. Then I stepped outside on the front porch there. Did you ever see the person that you had seen outside apartment 2? Had you ever seen him in police custody? No. Were you ever shown a group of photographs to identify this person? No. Did you ever get a good look at this fellow's face, or did you primarily see his backside when he's at the window? He came running around this way, and me and my girlfriend was standing in there, and he came running around the pool side. So he ran by 16? Yeah. Oops. Okay. I have nothing further. Thank you. Any redirect? No. This witness excused? Yes. Thank you. You're excused. Please step down. Next witness, please. Officer Cummings. Okay. I do. Good morning, officer. Please take the stand, state your full name, and spell the last for the record. Yes, ma'am. Officer Bernie D. Cummins, Jr., C-U-M-M-I-N-S. Thank you. You may proceed. Good morning. What do you do for a living? I'm a police officer for the city of Tracy. Okay, the whole point of doing this is I want you to get this exchange part in, so we're going to repeat that exchange there. So the last question, we're going to start with the question here with defense and go through the exchange again and continue on. So he ran by 16? Yeah. Okay, I have nothing further. Thank you. Any redirect? No. This witness excused? Yes. Thank you. You're excused. Please step down. Next witness, please. Officer Cummins. Okay. I do. Good morning, officer. Please take the stand, state your full name, and spell the last for the record. Yes, ma'am. Officer Bernie D. Cummins, Jr., C-U-M-M-I-N-S. Thank you. You may proceed. Good morning. What do you do for a living? I'm a police officer for the city of Tracy. How long have you been employed there? About 6.5 years. Okay. Were you on duty on August 27th of 97 at about 10 o'clock in the evening? Yes, ma'am, I was. Did you receive a call to respond somewhere that evening? Yes, ma'am, I did. To where did you respond? 225 West Eaton, apartment number 2. Okay. When you got there, did you make contact with the defendant, Jerry Rabin? Yes, we did. The gentleman in orange? Yes, ma'am. This defendant you're gesturing at? Yes, he was in a dark jacket and dark pants walking away from an individual standing in the doorway, which was, as we passed by, I noticed it was apartment number 2. Okay, did he continue to elude policemen that day? Yes, he did. He continued southbound and through the complex and started turning west towards the southwest driveway, at which time a third officer showed up and walked into the driveway. It was apparent that objection calls for some kind of opinion. Sustained. Was he eventually apprehended at some point? Yes, he was. He was apprehended across the street west of this location, the apartment location at another complex. What was he doing with his feet when he was eventually apprehended? When I arrived on scene there were about 3 or 4 officers there. They had him handcuffed and his feet were stuck. He locked his feet under the rails of the pool so he couldn't be moved. Yes. Was he threatening any of the officers at that time? Yes. He said he was going to kill Officer Yitzit and his family, and a couple of times he threatened me and said, "Wait till I get out. I'll kill you all." Okay. Who did he direct these other comments to besides Officer Yitzit? Comments made towards Officer Zuniga. And what exactly were those comments? They were, "I'm going to kill you and your family in Hayward." Okay. And that was to Officer Zuniga? Yes, ma'am, it was. Thank you, nothing further. Thank you. Cross. Officer Cummins, did you place in your report the comment that Mr. Raven stated to Officer Zuniga? No, sir, I didn't. This is something that you got from Officer Zuniga. It's what he related to me during that evening. Yes. What was your exact time of arrival at the 225 West Eaton complex? The exact time, I couldn't tell you. It was about 1 minute after our dispatch time. It would depend on my watch, dispatch clock, or whose clock you're going by. Do you know what time the dispatch was? Could I refer to my report? Sure. According to my report, we were initially dispatched. Let me check here. At probably, the call came in at 22:51, which is basically about the time we were dispatched, 10:51 p.m. And Mr. Raven was wrapped along a fence. At that point, he also made them, when we were walking up to the car and put him in the car, when we were putting him in the car, he looked at Officer Yitzit in the eye and said he was going to kill him. Was Mr. Raven, was there ever any testing of Mr. Raven that evening for controlled substances? Objection, relevance. Overruled. No. We couldn't even process him because we had to take him straight to county jail. I don't know if belligerence is the proper word. His behavior and the constant threats, we did not feel that it would be viable for us to uncuff him to attempt to do any type of testing, fingerprinting there at the jail. We just wanted to get him over to county jail. What is OC? May I refer to my notes? Sure, thank you. It's oleoresin capsicum, which is what? Commonly referred to as pepper spray. So, Mr. Raven, you sprayed at least 2 times at him. Is that correct, sir? Yes, sir. Do you know whether an evidence tech came out to print the broken window at apartment 2? No, I don't. Thanks. I have nothing further. Any redirect? No. This witness excused? Yes. Thank you. You're excused. You may step down. Do you have any further witnesses? Yes. For purpose of 12022.1, I have a printout from the CJIS computer, and under evidence code 452.8, I'd ask the court to recognize this as a computerized printout. Okay, and the last file number for the record is TF 22470. And the defendant was just held to answer on count 1 of that a few minutes ago. On that last file, ending 470, you're asking for judicial notice on, let's see, are you saying that he was on bail or is on OR on that? He was on, actually, he was OR'd. He was arraigned on 7/28/97. And he was in court. He was on his own recognizance at that time. He wasn't in custody. And on 8/13/97, the defendant did not show up for court. And it wasn't until September 2nd that he was actually brought to court in custody. Okay. It looks like he would have had OR status at the time. People's printout then will be marked as People's 1. Has the defense seen that? I'll show it to defense. And that will be all. Okay, Mr. Lundberg, do you have any objection to people's one? Yes, hearsay. Okay, as to the hearsay objection, that's overruled. That will be admitted under Evidence Code Section 452.5 for purposes of this hearing. Mr. Lundberg, do you have any evidence to offer? Not today. And Ms. Israels, do you want to argue? Submitted. Mr. Lundberg, do you have any comment? No. Submitted. As to count one, the court finds reasonable and probable cause to believe defendant committed the felony charged in count one, attempted burglary of a residential dwelling on 8/27/97. That would be the home of Annette Scardoza. Defendant is held to answer to Superior Court on that charge. The court finds reasonable and probable cause to believe that defendant did commit this felony while on bail or OR on three other matters, TF021556A and TF22470A, TF022076A, and will be held to answer on those enhancements. Although actually, I don't think the people have to prove those in looking that up at this level. There's reasonable and probable cause as to a finding that the defendant did commit a misdemeanor in count two of resisting, obstructing, or delaying a peace officer on 8/27/97. He'll be held to answer for that charge as well as the misdemeanor of obstructing or resisting an executive officer. Penal Code Section 69 on 8/27/97. And is there a stipulation for people's exhibits to be returned? Thank you. Mr. Lundberg, do you agree? Yes. And then the defense's exhibit was not admitted. I'm not aware of that one. Well, would you like to just trail that one with the, I believe it was reduced to a misdemeanor? That would be fine. How is that?
Good.
Okay. So we just squeeze in some of that once in a while. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now we're going to do some shoe boys warm up. I'm sure Ms. Close reminded you, Erica, about your observation hours. Try to get this done over the break.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly sure how many tapes we have. Let me look real quick because we're only doing 160s now. I'm going to unshare this. Make that more. Okay, this is some warm up now, and this will be at 160. Question?
Okay. Begins with the question for the record. Ma'am, we were briefly introduced before this deposition, and my name is Steve Steele. I'm an attorney involved in this case. If you would, state for the record what your full name is.
Teresa Lynn Mathers.
Would you spell your last name, please?
Mathers.
Have you ever had your deposition taken before, Ms. Mathers?
Once before.
How long ago was that?
Oh, I got somebody
Slide
in.
it
That's
aside.
okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Something's happening.
Well, that's somebody joining us. Hi,
Oh.
Ellen. Okay, so we're going to start over, and this will be 2 every 15. This is 162, boys.
Okay, begins with a question for the record. Ma'am, we were briefly introduced before this deposition, and my name is Steve Steele. I'm an attorney involved in this case. If you would state for the record what your full name is.
Teresa Lynn Mathers,
Would you spell your last name, please?
Mathers.
Have you ever had your deposition taken before, Ms. Mathers?
Once before.
How long ago was that?
Oh man, 6, 7 years ago.
And what kind of a case?
It was a car accident.
Were you a party in that case or just a witness?
Witness,
So you understand generally how the deposition process works?
basically, yes.
You understand that you're under oath and you have to answer everything out loud.
No problem.
So understand that you're under oath.
Yes,
And the reason we need you to answer out loud, because it is not possible to record on the record with the court reporter.
nodding of the head.
Yes, shaking your head and that sort of thing.
Yes.
No prior, I'm going to ask you a number of questions. If at any point I talk too fast or you're confused or whatever, just let me know and I'll slow down or I'll try to rephrase
Okay.
or what have you. Okay.
Okay.
Ms. Mathers, how old are you?
46,
And where do you presently reside?
4605 Henry Street. Well, it is South Henry Street now.
Is that in Peru?
Yes,
And how long have you resided there?
23 years.
And that is where you were residing in March of 2004?
Yes,
And are you presently employed?
yes, I am.
And where do you work?
Fast Lane Foods.
What do you do at Fast Lane Foods?
Cashier.
And how long have you been working at Fast Lane Foods?
It will be 4 years in August.
And is Fast Lane Foods located in Peru?
It is on Indiana also.
Ma'am, I ask this of everybody, but have you ever been arrested before?
No,
No prior record of convictions or anything along those lines?
no, I'm afraid of jail.
Rightfully so, ma'am. As you know, we're here about an incident that happened on March 28, 2004,
I understand that.
behind 6031 Indiana Avenue. Were you at that location on that date?
Yes, I was.
And can you describe generally what's located there?
Generally what? I'm sorry?
What is located there?
7-Eleven.
And what time did you arrive at that location?
Between 10:30 and 11. Probably closer to 10:30
Is that AM or PM?
p.m.
And it was March, so it was dark outside?
Yes,
Where had you come from to get to the 7-Eleven?
from work.
And how did you get there?
My car.
You drove?
Yeah.
Was anybody else in the car with you?
No, just myself.
And it is my understanding that you pulled into the parking lot.
Yes.
Does the parking lot sit off of, let me back up. That 7-Eleven, is that at the intersection of Indiana and Highland Street?
Yes.
And does that parking lot sit on the Indiana side of the building?
Yes.
Is there a parking lot on the, I've never been to this location. Is there a parking lot on the Highland Street side of the building?
No, there's not.
Okay, so you pulled into the parking lot on the Indiana side of the building.
Yes.
You said it was dark out. Any idea what the weather was like?
It was cold and that, but I had the window down. I'm a smoker, so that's why the window was down.
Window was down. How cold was it? 30s or 40s or the 50s?
I would say 30 because I still had a coat on.
Do you remember if it had been raining that day or if it was raining at the time?
I don't think so. I believe there was still snow on the ground, but I don't think it rained. I could be wrong.
When you pulled into that parking lot, how crowded was the lot in terms of cars?
Actually, there was just the car that was parked in the handicapped parking spot and myself to begin with.
And what happened, if you could just describe in your own words?
I pulled into the parking lot and I noticed the car because it was parked in the handicapped spot. I have a nephew that has spina bifida, and it just bothers me. The girl was on the phone and I heard shots. I'm like, okay, so should I get out of the car or not? And then I see the two black guys. One went towards Indiana. The other one went this way. I wasn't sure if he went towards Indiana or not.
I'll just note for the record, when you say he went this way, you are also motioning with your hands.
I'm sorry.
And I'll get,
He went to the back of my car towards Indiana. Okay, the other guy went to the right of me. I don't know where he went to from there because there is a fence. So I'm assuming that he went towards Indiana also.
I'm going to back up a little bit, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
As to this car that was in the handicapped parking spot,
Yes,
can you describe that car?
it was a light car with a dark roof.
Have you ever seen that car before?
Did I ever see it before?
Yeah.
I don't think so. That was the first time I ever saw it.
Was anybody there in the car?
Yes, there was a girl, and it looked like a pink jogging suit in the back seat on the phone or with the, wait a minute, I didn't know it was pink. It was a jogging suit. I can't say what color it was because it was dark out.
Was this car already there at the time at which you pulled into the parking lot?
Okay, the car was there when I pulled in. Yes, the car was already there.
And you said that as you pulled into the parking lot, your windows were down?
My window was down. My window on the driver's side.
All of the other windows in your car were up?
Yes.
How long after you pulled into the parking lot did it take for you to roll the window up?
I really don't know. 10 seconds?
Do you have automatic or electric windows?
At that time, I think it was electric.
Did you finish smoking your cigarette or something?
Actually, I finished my cigarette. I finished my cigarette while I was in the car, so maybe a minute or two.
So you pulled in. I assume you put the car into park. Is that right?
Uh-huh. Okay, that was at 160. We'll do another one, and we're going to get up a little bit faster. Bill, and just so you know, this is the 140, 160 class, and we're going to do a little more two-voice warm-up for about the next 10, 15 minutes. And then we're going to do two-voice takes at 160. If you're looking for the four-voice class, it's at a different link. It's the 180, 200 four-voice. So just letting you know. This bothered me. Stay there. I'm going to take this out. So this will be at 170, which means we're going to leave this in 14s. Seems like I can get this staple out. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
14.
Begins with a question for the record. Did you give him a collar and a leash?
Yes.
Anything else that you gave him when you turned Zoe over to him?
Her toys.
Do you know whether Zoe is a purebred Rottweiler?
Yes.
Okay, how do you know that?
My buddy Steve Kelly bought her from a breeder.
Where does Steve Kelly live?
Merrillville.
Where is Merrillville?
Lakes of the Four Seasons.
What is the address?
I don't know.
What is his phone number?
That, I don't know.
When is the last time you've spoken with Steve Kelly?
3 years ago.
Have you spoken to him since this incident in July of 2006?
No.
How is it that you got in contact with Steve Kelly regarding purchasing or acquiring Zoe?
We were friends from high school. He knew I liked Rottweilers, and he ended up just buying me one for a gift.
When did you first acquire ownership of Zoe then?
I don't know the exact date.
You mentioned before 2002 to 2007 you had Zoe.
Somewhere in that range. I don't know the exact date when I got her. She was, what, 4 years old?
She was 4 years old when you got her?
Yeah. No. She was a puppy when I got her. But at the time, she was 4 years old in 2006. So it had to be 2002.
Did Zoe have any kind of training?
No.
And when I say training, I mean by a dog trainer.
No.
Did you take her to any puppy school or any puppy classes?
No.
Besides Zoe and Rocky, have you owned any other dogs?
Yes.
What other dogs have you owned?
Rottweilers.
And can you tell me what other Rottweilers you own?
What other ones?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Rocky, we talked about Zoe. Who else?
Queen.
When did you own Queen from?
I don't know. Probably when I was 8 years old.
All right, besides Queen, any other Rottweilers that either your parents have owned or you've owned?
Yes.
What other dogs?
Toby. We bred 1 year, so we had 9 of them. My parents did.
Did they sell the pups?
Yes.
Any other Rottweilers besides Queen, Toby, Rocky, and Zoe that you have lived in the household with?
No.
Have you ever lived in a household where there's been more than one dog?
Other than this time period where where I apparently, one of my dogs had puppies, no.
At the time, from the time that you owned Zoe up until the time of this incident, were there any other dogs in your household?
No.
Okay, you indicated earlier you had no special training for raising Rottweilers, correct?
Yes.
Okay, with regard to your ownership of Rocky, has Rocky, during the time that you owned him, did he ever have any occasions where he attacked somebody and you had to fill out a report?
No.
Okay, prior to this incident, are you aware of Zoe having any occasions where you contacted because animal control will strike that? Has animal control ever contacted you about Zoe prior to this incident?
No.
Has any neighbor ever contacted you about Zoe misbehaving because of before this incident?
No.
Has anybody ever told you that Zoe acted aggressively toward them before this incident?
No.
Prior to this incident, can you tell me what kind of structure or what kind of grounds you had for Zoe as far as allowing her to roam around in your yard? How did you keep her pinned up?
I didn't keep her pinned up. She stayed on the deck. If I was outside, she was outside with me.
Okay. You didn't have her on a leash or anything like that?
No.
Did you ever take her for walks around your neighborhood before the date of this incident?
No.
Are you aware of anyone taking Zoe for walks around your neighborhood before the date of this incident?
Yes.
Who?
Lauren.
Who is Lauren?
Girlfriend.
Lauren who?
Jones.
Okay, where does Lauren Jones live?
523 West Joliet Avenue,
What city?
Merrillville.
Do you have a phone number?
219-746-1869.
How long have you and Lauren known each other?
6 years.
Are you engaged?
No.
Are you, a couple as far as boyfriend and girlfriend kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay, were you a couple back in 2006 when this incident occurred?
Yes.
All right, where does Lauren work?
Sheer Magic in Merrillville.
What kind of place is that?
Hair salon.
Now, I asked you earlier about whether you knew of anybody ever taking Zoe for walks before the date of this incident. How often would Lauren take Zoe for walks around the neighborhood before the date of this incident?
Once a week.
And when did she first start taking Zoe for walks around the neighborhood? What year?
2002. She was a puppy.
So she regularly did that at least one time a week over the course of the next 4 years?
Yes.
And did you have any objection to her doing that?
No.
What kind of collar or leash did Lauren use when she would take Zoe for a walk?
Your standard leash and your standard collar.
That really doesn't mean anything to me. So is it a leather leash? Is it a chain leash?
Leather leash.
And how far did it extend?
About 3 feet.
And what kind of collar did Zoe have?
Nylon.
And again, you never walked her on this leash, I take it, is that correct?
You would only let her, well, no.
Okay, and in your yard, how did you keep her pinned in?
She was on the deck.
And how is it that she couldn't get off the deck?
It's all closed up.
How is it closed up?
Gates.
Wooden gates?
Yes.
And these gates are about how high?
3 feet.
How tall is Zoe from head to bottom of her feet?
About 27 inches.
Okay, would it be accurate then to say that if Zoe were standing on all fours, her head would be below the top of this wood gate?
Yeah. Yes, below.
At any point on your deck, did the wood gate extend any higher than 3 feet?
No.
At any point on your deck, did the gate go below 3 feet?
No.
Who put up this decking or the wood gate along the deck?
Previous owners?
Did you ever have to fix that gate?
No.
Okay, why don't you tell me, to the best of your knowledge, what happened on July, I guess it's either 5th or 6th, on the date of this incident? Were you home?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna fix something here.
That's pretty almost
Yeah.
said July 1.
Yeah. Okay, that was a mistake. And one other thing.
There was some word there.
Oh man, what was it? I don't remember, but you know what? We're going to repeat this one page that had all the really short questions and answers, and there were numbers on here, and it was just a good page to repeat. So we're going to start over here with a question, reading still in 14s. Right here.
Okay. All right, here we go. For the record, has any neighbor ever contacted you about Zoe misbehaving before this incident?
No.
Has anybody ever told you that Zoe acted aggressively toward them before this incident?
No.
Prior to this incident, can you tell me what kind of structure or what kind of grounds you had for Zoe as far as allowing her to roam around in your yard? How did you keep her pinned up?
I didn't keep her. She stayed on the deck. If I was outside, she was outside with me.
Okay, you didn't have her on a leash or anything like that?
No.
Did you ever take her for walks around your neighborhood before the date of this incident?
No.
Are you aware of anyone taking Zoe for walks around your neighborhood before the date of this incident?
Yes.
Who?
Lauren.
Who is Lauren?
Girlfriend.
Lauren who?
Jones.
Okay, where does Lauren Jones live?
523 West Joliet Street,
What city?
Merrillville.
Do you have a phone number?
219-746-1869.
How long have you and Lauren known each other?
6 years.
Are you engaged?
No.
Are you, a couple as far as boyfriend and girlfriend kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay, were you a couple back in 2006 when this incident occurred?
Yes.
All right, where does Lauren work?
Sheer Magic in Merrillville.
What kind of place is that?
Hair salon.
Now, I asked you earlier about whether you knew of anybody ever taking Zoe for walks before the date of this incident. How often would Lauren take Zoe for walks around the neighborhood before the date of this incident?
Once a week.
And when did she first start taking Zoe for walks around the neighborhood? What year?
2002. She was a puppy.
So she regularly did that at least one time a week over the course of the next 4 years?
Yes.
And did you have any objection to her doing that?
No. Okay, we're going to next dictate a very short segment here for readback. Okay. Ellen, I'll call on you if you're interested in participating. We'd love to have you join in. This is the same case, just a different section. And let's read this. Is there lights for anybody? No. Okay. Let's read this in 17s, 2 every 17. And we're just going to go for 2 minutes maybe. Okay, this will be, okay, great, we'll give you a chance. here we go with the question.
For the record, were you outside with Devin Adelman the whole time?
Yes,
And was her dog outside that whole time too?
yes.
And can you tell me about how long from the time that Lauren arrived until at Devin Adelman's home, until the time that she took Zoe back to your house, how much time passed?
I don't know.
1 minute more? Or was she there the whole time?
No, she wasn't there the whole time. I don't know exactly how long she was there until she took her home.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. When Lauren got there and she and Michael were able to separate, or Mike were able to separate the two dogs, Lauren takes Zoe and marches her straight home?
I don't know if it was right that fast, but I don't know exact times. So if you want around about 5 minutes,
Okay, probably no more than 5 minutes.
probably.
I mean, she didn't hang around there for 10 minutes or so, did she, holding on to Zoe while you talked and engaged in a conversation with Devin?
No,
Okay, while you were there at Devin Adelman's home, did somebody call the police?
yes.
Who called the police?
Her son,
Okay, and did the police come right out?
yes.
How long did it take from the time that you arrived at Devin Adelman's home until the police arrived?
I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of the time, so I don't know. This happened 2 years ago. I am trying to remember, but I don't know.
Okay, do you know what time the police arrived?
No,
How long were you at Devin Adelman's home while the police were there?
about 15 minutes,
Did you talk to the police while they were there?
briefly.
Can you describe the police officer that you spoke to?
No, male,
Can you give me an estimate as to age?
30s,
Was he by himself or was he with someone?
with someone. Okay, sometimes I have a hard time unmuting people when there's only one person online. So I'm going to try this. Or you can unmute yourself. Let's see if that works and see if I can hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect. Great.
Okay, I'm trying to look for my spot.
Okay. And we're going to let our in-class person, Erica, start.
I found my spot.
Okay. Go ahead, Erica.
Question, were you outside when Devin Adelman with Devin Adelman the whole time? Answer, yes. Question, and you, was her dog outside the whole time too? Answer, yes. Question, can you tell me how long from the time that you,
And can you tell me about how long?
and can you tell me how long from the time
Yes,
that
it's a name. Lauren,
arrived until Devin Adelman,
until at Devin,
Adelman's, until the time that she
home until
the time that she took the name again. Was it
starts with a Z.
Zoe?
Yeah,
To your house.
back to your house.
Back to your house. How much time passed? Answer, I don't know. Question, 1 minute more, or was she there the whole time? Answer, no, she wasn't there the whole time. I don't know exactly how long she was there until she took her home. Question, okay, well, let me ask you this. When Lauren got there and she and
Name.
M,
Michael
were able to separate, or Mike were able to separate the two dogs. Lauren takes Zoe and marches her straight home. Answer, I don't know if it was right that fast, but I don't know exact time. So if you want around about 5 minutes, answer, okay, probably. Question. Okay, probably no more than 5 minutes. Answer, probably. Question. I mean, she didn't hang around there for 10 minutes, did she?
Or so, did she?
Or so, did she, holding on to Zoe while you talked and engaged in a conversation with Devin? Answer, no. Question, okay, while you were there at Devin Adelman's home, did somebody call the police? Answer, yes.
Good, that's good for just passing on words. Bella, go ahead, please. Could you hear her okay?
Yes.
Good, go ahead.
Okay. Question, who called the police? Answer, her son. Question, and did the police come right? Answer, yes.
Okay, so there was an okay at the beginning there, okay, and did the police come right out? Continue.
Answer, yes. Question, how long? Something at Devin.
Did it take from the time you arrived at Devin
Adelman's home until the police arrived? Answer, I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of the time, so I don't know. This happened 2 years ago. I am trying to remember, but I don't know. Question, okay, did I dropped
Do you know?
Okay, answer, I don't know what time the
Okay.
police arrived.
Actually, that's part of the question.
Okay.
The question is, okay, do you know what time the police arrived?
Answer, no. Question, how long were you at Devin Adelman's home while the police were there? Answer, about 15 minutes. Question, did you talk to the police while they were there? Answer, a brief.
Just briefly.
Briefly. Question, spoke to.
Okay, can you describe the police officer that you spoke to?
Answer, I dropped the answer.
No, male. Question.
Okay, I come back with question, was he by himself?
Okay. You dropped one question and answer, and the question was, can you give me an estimate as to age? Answer, 30s. Go ahead.
Question, was he by himself? Where was he with someone? Or was he with someone? And then that's all I have.
Okay, the answer was with someone. Good. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it Bellin?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're going to do just a little bit now. We're going to repeat that, and this will be a push. This will be at 170, and then we're going to do our take. So this literally is going to be like 2 minutes. And let's do 2 every 14.
Okay, here we go. For the record, were you outside with Devin Adelman the whole time?
Yes.
And was her dog outside that whole time too?
Yes.
And can you tell me about how long from the time that Lauren arrived until at Devin Adelman's home, until the time that she took Zoe back to your house? How much time passed?
I don't know.
1 minute more, or was she there the whole time?
No, she wasn't there the whole time. I don't know exactly how long she was there until she took her home.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. When Lauren got there and she and Michael were able to separate, or Mike were able to separate the two dogs, Lauren takes Zoe and marches her straight home?
I don't know if it was right that fast, but I don't know exact times. So if you want around about 5 minutes.
Okay, probably no more than 5 minutes.
Probably.
I mean, she didn't hang around there for 10 minutes or so, did she? holding on to Zoe while you talked and engaged in a conversation with Devin?
No.
Okay, while you were there at Devin Adelman's home, did somebody call the police?
Yes.
Who called the police?
Her son.
Okay, and did the police come right out?
Yes.
How long did it take from the time that you arrived at Devin Adelman's home until the police arrived?
I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of the time, so I don't know. This happened 2 years ago. I am trying to remember, but I don't know.
Okay, do you know what time the police arrived?
No,
How long were you at Devin Adelman's home while the police were there?
about 15 minutes,
Did you talk to the police while they were there?
briefly.
Can you describe the police officer that you spoke to?
No, male,
Can you give me an estimate as to age?
30s,
Was he by himself or was he with someone?
with someone.
Did the police officer, either one of the police officers, well, strike that. Was there more than 2 police officers there?
More than 2? I don't know.
Do you know whether there was more than 1 police car for responding to this call?
I don't know. They parked cars out front. I can't see back there. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording and then restart it because that will be our takes. And we're going to have 2 at 160, both 2 voice.